What is up, everybody? This is your boy AJ Trick, and we got a top 10 list here for you today. This one is the top 10 Law and Order SVU episode. I am a huge fan of Law and Order SVU. I didn't start watching from the beginning, but I started watching some of the stuff, the replays on USA, and then that got me into it. And I started watching the live things on NBC, and right now, and right now, it's a staple. It's one of my favorite shows of all time, and I really truly enjoy it. 21 seasons, Law and Order SVU, incredible. And over those 21 seasons, there have been some fantastic, truly epic episodes. So to try to get them down to 10 is just it's unreasonable. And then to try to rank those 10, it's even more unreasonable. So there is even though I'm doing it and I'm giving you my top 10 Law and Order SVU episodes, just know that any of these 10 can move up and down the list. If I were to do this again in a year, the list it gets fluctuate. So who knows? But as for right now, on today, May 2nd, 2020, I'm giving you my list. This is the recording date, at least. I don't know when you guys actually seeing this, but the recording date is May 2nd, 2020. So as of that date, this is my top 10 Law and Order episodes of all time. Number 10, The Beasts of Session, from season 15, episode 20. Benson is assigned 24/7 security detail when William Lewis, her stalker, played by the incredible Pablo Schreiber, escapes from prison and starts killing again. Benson must now decide how she's willing to sacrifice and save a child's life. And in this episode, she does everything. She escapes the security detail, and she goes on national television and says that what she said during the trial of William Lewis was a lie, which he was. And there's just so many things that are just incredible about this episode, especially how the episode ends with them playing a game of Russian roulette in front of the girl, and how it comes down to the final chamber, and it's everything, and it's how William Lewis, what he does, and so instead of giving Detective Benson the gun, because it's her turn, he takes the gun, he puts it in his left hand and pulls the trigger, and so that it's everything. So he does it for several reasons. He does it so because he's just that sick. He wants that image to be stuck into Benson's mind. He does it so that they will, because in the next episode, this is kind of a two-part episode. But in the next episode, yeah, that's right. They do, they show that, they try to do everything to prove that Benson, they want to take her to trial because they know William Lewis is right-handed. He shot himself left-handed, so they kind of want to say it wasn't him. Even for years, he had, for years and years, the IAB was up Benson's ass and everybody up SVU's ass. And then they finally was like, she's been through so much shit. They really were trying to, look the other way, and they finally did. But so it's just this fantastic story. The penultimate show to the culmination of the William Lewis saga. It was incredible, and it is number 10 on my list of the Law and Order episodes of all time. SVU episodes of all time. Number 9, AMARO'S 180. Season 15, episode 11. When a suspect is gravely injured and the case becomes a public spectacle, AMARO'S badge is on the line. Also, Captain Kragen surprises everyone with an announcement. I love this episode because of it's takes on with some of the stuff that was going on in the world. It's Amaro, who's actually he's Italian and on the show. I don't know about the actual person who plays him, but um, on the show he's Spanish and Italian of descent. Um, but that doesn't matter because he's non. You know, you can see him as being white, and he shoots a unarmed black kid. So the story goes that they are celebrating Detective Benson's. I think it was her. It was something. There was something they were celebrating from Benson. It might have been her becoming a sergeant even. Um, and Amaro and Rollins is walking home. They come across some patrolmen and chasing after a drug dealer, and so we say he has a gun. So they follow him. Amaro follows him. It follows the one of the cops. They thing and everything happens, and he shoots a kid, a teenager, and it's just all over. So and everything. So and they were trying everything in their life to just, and it's just I'm not doing it justice because you have to watch it. You can explain it. You just have to watch it. And what the stuff Amaro goes through, the pain he's feel. It's not his his thing. He's a devout religious person, and he's trying to figure out why does God you know why does God do this to him and his kid? Why does God, you know, make this kid paralyzed? Why does God putting him in this place where he could lose his badge and everything like that? And they go all the way through, and even to the point to where it looks like he's going to take a deal to give up his badge, but he decides not to. He decides to go along with it, and he beats, and he doesn't beat it, but he goes in front of the grand jury, and you need a certain amount of people to prosecute when you go to the grand jury, and he and that's what and he goes, and he didn't get enough people to prosecute. He makes a great speech when he's testifying, because the grand jury can ask questions, and one of the people who's a black woman asks the question, do you really believe you did the right thing? And he talks about it, and I think it turned enough people out that he could save his badge and everything like that. So you have all of this. And then when all of this happened, Captain Kragan, who's been there since season 1, the first episode, he announces that he is moving on. He said he has accrued so much leave that he would be losing money if he stayed rather than leave. So he's taking that leave. And he giving it over to Benson. Now this is Benson's crew. This is Benson's. And it's been her unit ever since that episode, since AMARO'S 180. And it's just a fantastically done episode. A shout out to Captain Kragan at the end, and it's just an amazing story. So number 9 on my top 10 episodes of Law and Order, AMARO'S 180. Number 8, Dreams Deferred. Season 14, episode 9. An armed and dangerous man goes on a killing spree with Jeannie, a prostitute with whom he has a relationship with. If Jeannie goes missing, the SVU is tasked with convincing the NYPD that her life is worth saving. Now, I think to be honest with you, that's not necessarily how the story goes. Because what actually happens in the story is either right. Somebody goes on a killing spree. He snaps. I forget what it is. I don't know if he loses his job or what happens, but he just snaps. kills everybody. He kills like his wife and his mother-in-law, and he kills like some people at work or something. And he does go to see this prostitute, who's played by Patricia Arquette, and and so that they go around, and then once the SVU figures out that she can be one of the ones to get him, like to get her, they kind of use her as bait to try to lure him in, so that when she calls, he can she can try to keep her thing. So they follow her around and everything, like follow her around everything like that, to her places, to her things. We see her story. We see how she we see how she interacts with her family. How she it doesn't seem like that she has that good a relationship with her mother or her daughter or her granddaughter. She really wants to be, the granddaughter. She doesn't like her daughter. Doesn't really, let her be around her granddaughter, much, and she really wants to do it. So we get all of that good story, and then everything happens. They take him out, and but it's not over because they really want to help her, and she's it's the stereotypical story of she's been doing this all her life. She doesn't need the help. She doesn't want the help, including, like, I think it was the FBI. They were in on this with her, with SVU, but they kind of screwed her over. They didn't, she's supposed to get paid, but they decided not to pay her or anything like that. They decided, so they kind of screwed her on that. Um, but then they get to it. They basically arrest her, and they do a kind of intervention where her pastor, her mother, her daughter, and then she has a son. Her son comes in, and her son is, so her mother and her daughter know what she does. The son doesn't, but actually he does. He's known for the longest time, and he doesn't say anything because that's his mother, and he understands. Them for her kids, for her life, for a better life. And he's in the military, and they finally say, hey, listen, you've done all of this for us, let us do this for you. And it kind of kicks in, and then she goes in there and says that she's gonna to do like a rehab, something like that, or and trying to do other things. She had mentioned at one point that she had a cosmetology license, so maybe they tried to get her back doing that. So yeah, it's a, again, and yeah, this is some really fun stuff. So number 8 on my list of Law and Order SVU episodes, Dreams Deferred. Number 7, Spiraling Down. Season 13, Episode 10. Amaro's friend reports that his 14-year-old daughter is missing, only for the detectives to learn that she is working as a prostitute. The detectives set up a sting to catch the pimp, but they also arrest an aging American football player. So, yes, that's what happens. We start off with a girl going to New York, and we can see the guy, the pimp, the predator. He basically knows what it is. He sees a mark, and that's what happens. And things that happen. You see that he's at first he's all lovey dovey, and then he starts to, he says, well, listen, my boy is here. He's my boy, and why don't you do this? Do this. So then that happens. Then you see him. You have him doing everything. And yes, it's actually not Amaro's friend. It's Amaro's wife's friend. Um, so the Amaro's wife is in the army. So he was in the army with her, and then so they obviously told him what Amaro's done and everything like that. So yeah, then they find out about the fort. They find out what she does and what she's been doing. They find out her, and then they do the pimp. But then when they set up this thing to catch the Johns, they find out that it's one of the Johns is one of the. They don't necessarily say the Jets and the Giants. They don't say that. They just say the old football team. And So, and this is a great guy, and he's going there and everything like that, and they catch him and they arrest him for doing it, and as the show goes on, we look like to find out that he's obviously having some troubles. He's obviously having some troubles um, with his mental state, and we get into another time when I think the doctors were figuring out about CTE in football players, and there was a lot of things that were happening. I think there had been some unfortunate suicides from football players, and I think there was some stuff talking about CTE and everything like that. Um, so yeah, those were some big things around that time, and they find out and the thing about CTE is that you really don't know if a person has CTE until after they die, because they have to check the brain. You don't know, but you can obviously tell that he was the way they had it. The quarterback was played by Treat Williams, and he was he did a great job of this. He really did, and the lawyer played by Andre Braugher, who had done so many great guest appearances in the past in Order Svu. This was another one, and they did a great episode, and they kind of showed what the thing you know show that he wasn't in his right mind, in his right space, and it even gets to the point to at one point to where he is of he's found not guilty of all of this stuff, of charged with. But at some point, I think he realizes that he did do this. He just didn't know about it. And even at the end, he grabs a cop's gun and he's going to, take his life. So he pretends to stop. He's holding the gun to his head. Puts the gun down, but then he turns around and shoots. It was almost like the whole Junior Seau thing, because Junior Seau, he unfortunately committed suicide, but he didn't. I think he shot himself, but he shot himself in the heart because he wanted his brain to be researched. So again, just it's all types of deep, good layers, and it's heartbreaking, and it's so good. It's just a good story. So especially for those of us football fans like myself, can really get to you. So number 7 on the list of Law and Order SVU episodes of all time, Spiraling Down. Number 6, Screwed. Law and Order Season 8, Episode 23. Or 22, actually. It's 22. Tensions mount between the detectives when a man put on trial for raping and murdering a mother and child. Meanwhile, Elliot's wife Kathy announces she is pregnant, and Detective Chester Lake joins the SVU staff. So here's the deal. This is actually from the prior season. Season 7, Episode 18, Episode Venom. Ken, who is Finn's son, he was found in the alley, in an area alley, digging up something, and he was looking for something, and it was a whole story about how he had overheard somebody talking about, they killed a mother and a baby, and and he had buried him somewhere, and he decided to go look for it, and everything like that. And then it turned out that it was actually the story from his cousin Darius, who was played by Ludacris, and it was this whole thing, and Ludacris had set it up so that where um, you know he could kind of get off, and he could, you know, so that he could kind of he set it up real good in that episode, so that where his arrest or his thing wasn't really legal, and it couldn't be, and more importantly, they couldn't use the baby. They couldn't use the baby when it came to the trial. So, so then here we are, a season later. This is the season finale of season 8. This was one of the first. This is one of the first ones that I saw. Actually, one of the first episodes that I saw live. Actually, was the season finale of this one. I shouldn't say it's out live. You see all of them live, but I'm talking about like actually see them on the actual NBC when it was brand new and not when it was on replays. But this one was incredible. This was they went through so much stuff. Him and his attorney brought up each and every past sin. All of these guys from Finn, from Elliot, from what's her face, from Benson early in the season. Benson had helped her brother escape, evade arrest, and there was so much other stuff, and then they even and then all of this happened, and it showed up big time, and like I said, Kathy showed up for Elliot, and they found out they were pregnant, and also Elliot's daughter he had made his daughter's DUI go away. So there was so much good stuff in this, and it's just incredible. It's like the villain, and then of course we found out actually in the season 7 episode that Ken's mother, Finn's ex, was actually the mother to Darius, and his father was her father, who had raped her when she was young. So it was. No, but we didn't find out who the father was until that episode in season 8, that it was actually her father, and it's an incredible episode. It's just woo, wow. So yeah, go ahead, get it. It's incredible. And it's number 6 on the list of all Order SVU episodes. Screwed. 5. Raw. Season 7, episode 6. Detectives investigate a school shooting that left 3 students dead and linked the rifle used to killings at a gun store serving the headquarters of a white supremacist group. And so yeah, there were some people that were shot. People, kids. There were kids that were shot. One that was killed. A young black kid, and that black kid was killed. He was the adopted son of a correctional officer and his wife, and so the SVU did their due diligence and did everything. It even finds out that they said leads to a white supremacist group, and and they think, and at least one guy who's in there in the thing, and he's a big time racist, and he talks about everything, and it comes to a crescendo to where it gets to the point where there's even a shootout in the court, and Munch gets shot, Elliot gets shot, the judge gets killed, and many others, and one of the people that they talk about is actually a federal agent who was undercover, and it was just all in all just this stuff that was just a great episode. Real acted by everybody. The federal agent is Academy Award winner. Marcia Gay Harden. She does a fantastic job, and actually everybody does a great job in here. And then we even have the Law and Order SVU twist, where you find out at the end that the reason why the black kid was shot was that the correctional officer and his wife was trying to get the insurance money. Ain't that a bitch? Number 5 on the list of top 10 Law and Order SVU episodes of all time. Raw. 4. Season 6, Episode 1, Birthright. The investigation into an attempted kidnapping of a 6-year-old girl uncovers a fertility doctor's scheme to steal embryos and prompts a custody battle between the child's biological and birth. So this was incredible. This really was. So apparently, a woman played by Leah Thompson lost her husband and her daughter in a horrific crash, and but she just had a feeling that her daughter was still there. Her daughter was still out there, and so she apparently she sees her one day. She sees her daughter, and she knows that's her daughter. You know, she just knows it, and so she hired private investigators to get a hair sample. They find out that they get the hair sample and everything like that, and then they find out that it is her daughter. And then like the description says, they find out that both women went to the fertility doctor, same fertility doctor, and instead of putting their embryo, the woman's embryo, into her, she takes this Leah Thompson's character's embryos and put them into her, and then that's what they're adopting. And it's just, there's so much, and she's obviously so upset because she just didn't. The only thing she knew was that was her daughter. That looked like her daughter. It was her daughter, but she didn't know. They both got screwed. But then she can't just leave well enough alone. So then she once again at the end she kidnaps the little girl. She takes one. She's gonna try to fight for custody, but she ends up, they do the thing, and then and she finally decides to give it up, and she'll stop trying to fight for custody and everything like that. So it makes you feel so bad for both women. Makes you feel like makes you feel so creepy by the doctor and everything like that. It gives you all the feels, the good, the bad, the indifferent, the anger, all the emotions. Great episode. Number 4 on the list of top 10 episodes of all time from Law and Order SVU, Birthright. 3, Doubt. Season 6, Episode 8. This was one of the major ones that I saw on replay that really made me become a true fan of Law and Order SVU. So when a college student claims rape and her professor claims it was consensual sex, Stabler and Vincent find themselves in the middle of a he said, she said, trying to decide whether to believe the alleged victim or the alleged perpetrator who claimed she liked it rough. And this was everything. There were, she was not the perfect victim, and he was not the perfect criminal, I guess you could say, like this. There were some things about her which made her seem sketchy, and there were some things about him that made him seem, can't come up with the word, that made him seem invincible, maybe. I don't know. That wasn't invincible. I don't know what the word is, but it didn't make him seem like that he was credible. It made him seem credible, I guess. That he wouldn't actually do this. So it was great. There was some really good stuff here. Everybody played their parts perfectly. Like I said, there was some tension between even Benson and Stabler. To one point, Benson believed the woman, but Stabler believed the guy, and vice versa. At one point, they switch around, and then she believes the guy, and he believes her, and everything. And then I think what really makes the episode even great is they go through all this and they go through the trial, and at the end of the show, you don't get an answer. You don't get an answer. It's just they say, jury, have we reached a verdict? Yes, we have. Read it. In the case of the such and such, we find the defendant such a soul, and then it cuts off. And that's great. It's a cliffhanger. They never go back to it in another season. They never go back to it in another show. It's all on you. Who do you? It's almost like a like a version of the book of you, right? Who do you think? Who do you think was credible? Who do you think? What do you think happened? So you make up your own story ending. So totally awesome, great episode. Number 4 on the list of Order Svu episodes of all time. Doubt. 2, Haunted. Episode 10 from season 6. After recovering from being shot during a robbery, Finn turns to the narcotics division to keep a promise he made to locate a missing person. So what happens is it seems like that Benson and Finn are doing some undercover work or something like that, and they're getting ready to come back to the place. And Finn goes into a store, and apparently 2 guys come into a store, 2 kids, and they pull out guns and they shoot up the place and everything. Finn gets shot doing all of this. He takes out both of them, and everybody says that he's a hero, and he gives a hero's welcome. But there was one lady who goes up to the police and says he's not a hero. And it's it's back from the undercover days when he was doing something like that. And so they go through all of this, and then they find out that Fisher was just she wasn't she was in a bad place. She got taken out. She was unfortunately done. She was done in by her drug use, but apparently she had a baby. She had a baby, and this woman, she promised this woman's grandson. And Finn promises this woman that he's going to do everything he can to find her grandson. And he takes this young rookie from narcotics, played by Nicholas Gonzalez, and yes, they do everything they can. They take it out, they find it, and sure enough, yes, it's they find out where the baby is, and he finds the baby, and he becomes a hero again, and it's a truly awesome episode. Really shows some of the Finn centric episodes are really, really good, and and you gotta really give the Ice-T. He really put his all into this show. So, in playing this character, really, really good episode. I think you'd really like it. Number 2 on the list, the top 10 episodes of all time. Haunted. Number 1 episode for Law and Order SVU, Annihilated. Season 8, episode 20. The suspected assassination of an ex-CIA agent's girlfriend leads to an investigation, but the former detective soon falls under scrutiny after the rest of his family are also found dead. The ensuing case rattles Stabler, who turns to his wife and children for comfort. I mean, yeah, this is one of the big things. This goes all over the place. So, they find out who someone passed away, and then. And from what it seems like a military hit. And then there's even some talk about it being, maybe a terrorist attack, something like that. And it leads to this guy who's leading a double life. He's married in the suburbs and has kids, but he's also cheating on her with this woman. And he's giving her the name of his ex-CIA agent, right? So he's doing this, and all of this, and apparently, somehow I don't know what happened. I don't know how he did, but it could be possibly that the wife killed. The wife found. His wife knew it. The wife knew that he was having an affair. So maybe the wife um, killed the girl. Killed her. So it's just everything, but you never find that out because when Vincent is able to go back to the house, the kids are dead. The wife is dead, and it almost looks like that the husband is dead. But he makes a waking statement, and he does all of this, and so they go and take him to the hospital, and he, like we said, Stabler it's so jarring to Stabler that he needs to go home. At this point, he was trying to separate it with his wife. He was separated with his wife, and then they go home, and he goes and he checks on his kids, and so he goes and says thank you for let me see it. Needed to see his kids, and that kind of leads to him and his wife hooking up, and that obviously leads to going back to the season 8, episode 23 episode when they find out Kathy's pregnant. This is where it's from. It's from this episode, and he hooks back up with her. But then when they find out that when in the CSI people and everybody else get there, they find out that it's probably not the story that you think it is. It doesn't seem to be the fact that she tried to kill everybody and then took, and then took her own life. This is actually this guy did everything. He killed everything and then took his, and then tried to make it seem like that she would, that she tried to kill him, but it wasn't. He tried to blame, he did it, and he tried to blame it on her. And Stabler does this great thing at the end where he kind of makes it seem, he tried to gives him everything. He tried to gives him every out in the world. Gives him out of yes, you did it, you killed her because she killed the kids, or anything like that, and then you tried to kill yourself and all these other things. But then he finally gets to the point where he gets him to say that yes, he killed everybody. But then that just breaks him down. Because once he does that, he just has to go. It's just too much for him. It's a fantastic episode. It's a great story about how something like that can really just fuck with your mind. And some really, really good stuff. Great acting there by everybody involved. I don't know the name of the guy who was the killer, but he was, you know him if you've seen him. He's a really good actor, and he did a great job in this episode. So once again, the number 1 episode of the top 10 Law and Order SVU episodes of all time, Annihilated, season 8, episode 20. Episodes of Law and Order SVU. If you want to see any of those episodes, there are many places you can do it. You can do it here on YouTube. You can do it on Google Play. You can do it on Hulu. So many places. So make sure you go and search those, search those episodes and go find them and watch them and see. Do you agree with me? Are those good enough to be in the top 10 episodes of Law and Order SVU? Post your comments down below. Tell me what you guys think. Are there any episodes that are any of your favorites? Trust me, I have so many of them. So many of them that I couldn't bear it down to 10, but I did. I did my best. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. This is your boy AJ Trip signing off. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. And I am out.